Thank you so much for tuning in again. I am host James.
And I am your host, Bean, and together we host a little show. And if you've heard of it, you're in for a wild ride.
A wild treat. Welcome to the Island Shuffle, where we watch lost episodes, but in a random order.
In a random order, if you can believe it. Oh my goodness.
And after we watch it,
we talk about it.
we talk about it.
But we don't just talk about it to each other in a closed room.
We talk about it to you in the internet room.
In the internet
in the
room.
chat room.
In the room between your ears.
The room, your dome.
Your dome.
Is what I call it.
Yeah, we call it.
The roof of that room is sort of convex.
Mm-hmm.
Because your head is convex.
It sure is. And if it isn't, well, I'm terribly sorry about that.
If you've gone to jail,
yes.
your head is convex.
Yeah, we got jokes on this podcast.
Your head is a convict's head.
The head of a convict.
The head of a convict.
Head. Of course.
We've all had this.
We've all had this head. Everybody who's amongst us hasn't had the head of a convict.
I don't know. I would say heed my advice. Don't go to jail.
Yeah.
Heed it or you will get a convict's head. Heed head.
That sounds like good advice to me. What episode did we watch this week?
This week we watched season 1, episode 7. So an early one. It's called The Moth.
The Moth.
And this is all about Charlie and sad news, happy news.
Sad news, happy news, folks. It's our very last episode of Charlie. We're closing the book on Charlie as of this episode.
He will never be prominently featured in a episode again.
Nope.
We did this once before when we had to close the book on Daniel Faraday with his one episode.
With one episode. And also with Shannon's one episode.
Shannon had one episode
Shannon
too?
had a one episode.
Have we seen a Boone episode yet?
We haven't seen Boone's one episode yet.
Okay, Boone has one episode, so we're going to see that. Does Frank Lapidus get an episode?
Frank Lapidus does not get an episode.
Oh,
I think
does Jacob get an episode?
Jacob gets an episode, dude. Bad news. Jacob's episode is probably coming.
It's
someday.
Definitely coming.
It's absolutely coming.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. In terms of characters that have had more than one dedicated episode, we've closed the book now on Juliet and Charlie. Charlie
Wow.
joins the club.
Is there anyone we're close to closing the book on?
I think there's a few others.
Sawyer and Kate mustn't have too many more.
Oh, no, we haven't closed the book on Sawyer yet, but we are very close to closing the book on Sawyer.
Yeah, because he is the protagonist.
I think Kate still has a few tricks up her sleeve.
Okay.
A few
tacos up her Tuesday.
A few tacos up her Tuesday. That's exactly right. So it's a season 1 episode, so the stakes are as low as they can be, except they're still very high.
The stakes are as high as they can be because the stakes are real.
The stakes are human life.
It's season 1, so that means the characters are meaningful. There's no heaven or hell bullshit.
Yeah.
Everyone is just trying to survive.
Yeah, and of course the rift is, should we stay on the beach where we can be visibly rescued, or should we move into the caves where there's shelter and water?
And let me tell you, the answer becomes clear in this episode.
It sure does. We want to start with the island stuff, I assume, right?
Yeah, let's go with the island stuff.
It's kind of the meat and potatoes. So the first thing that happens is Charlie's playing guitar and having heroin withdrawals. And Locke says, "Hey, come with me." And Charlie follows him, but then loses him. And then immediately starts getting chased by a boar.
Yeah.
But 'twas all part of Locke's magical plan, you see. As the boar gets caught in a trap, and Locke says, "Great job, you make great boar bait." Immediately setting the tone for the episode. Kind of rude.
Womp womp.
You could have told him. You
Totally.
could have said, "Hey, I need you to get the attention of this boar," instead of just having him haplessly wander. He was going through heroin withdrawal. Imagine the episode just starts with him getting mauled by a boar, and then that's
honestly. That wouldn't be a bad way to close the book on Charlie.
I suppose not, huh?
Yeah, with the one where he gets mauled by a boar and dies.
10 minutes in.
Yeah, that seems like how it would naturally end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you catch earlier though Charlie and Locke's conversation where Locke was like, "Hey, Charlie, do you want to come with me? Do you think that sounds fun?" And Charlie went, "Boring." So then they went boring. They looked for a boar.
The sport of hunting boar.
The sport of hunting boar.
Yeah.
The board of hunting spore.
Now, what's the board of hunting spore?
It's so you hunt spore and abort. It's sort of like a Bart.
Right.
But it's sort of like, it's a robot Bart.
Right.
Abort.
Of course.
A bot.
And Bart is, of course, the beloved Simpsons character.
Yeah, Bart Simpson.
Yes, so it's like
Then
a
there's
robot.
Bort Nimson.
Of
Bort
course.
Nimson sort of has. He's a robot.
Yeah, he's got all the attitude, but the difference is that he's a robot, and so all that brings to Bort Nimson's
And then Mark Crimson is the real life version of them all.
of all of them,
Yeah,
of every
of all of
Simpson.
them. Yeah.
He's a real life amalgam of all 5 of our beloved Simpsons.
Yeah. It's
Mark Crimson.
Mark Ruffalo.
It's Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, nay Crimson.
Mark Ruffalo, nay Crimson, nay Simpson.
Wow. You know? Remember when I brought up that, I remember 100 episodes ago when I brought up the conspiracy list that had JFK shot himself on it?
How could I forget?
Well, one of those conspiracy theories was also Simpsons is real.
That's funny.
That's fun to think about.
I
to
agree
me.
with that.
I mean, we've proven it just now.
Yeah, we did.
So
With Mark Crimson?
Mark Ruffalo, nay Crimson.
Nay Crimson.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, nay Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But so Locke catches the boar,
Yes.
and then Charlie's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's drop this for a little bit
Yeah.
and move on to other people.
No, actually, they stick around because guess what?
Oh,
Charlie.
yeah. Charlie's like, oh, I helped you catch the boar. Now can you help me catch my heroin back?
and Locke starts saying something. He starts saying a couple things. He says, "Listen, you're stronger than that, and I know you can kick this habit if you really want to.
That.
So guess what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you back your heroin, but only after you've asked me 3 times." Because guess what? We love the Bible here on the show Lost. So once you ask me 3 times,
And the cock crows 3 times.
when the cock crows 3 times, and the 12th kiss is on the Monday of June,
you get your heroin.
you'll get your
back.
heroin back.
Yeah.
Um,
When the 12th kiss is on the Monday of June.
yeah.
Then your heroin comes home and you get high soon.
That's my favorite Bible verse.
Yeah.
That's my favorite verse from Luke.
You know what my favorite one is?
What's that?
Unless the mountain's top is to crumble from the pit of the earth,
Mhm.
then the camel will never pass through the eye of the needle.
Damn. You got it. That's my favorite Sunday school verse.
Yeah.
You know, this show is a very religious show, isn't it? Because
The Island Shuffle? Yes.
yeah, the island. This is
Welcome to the Sunday Shuffle, everybody,
Yeah.
where we are we read a random Bible verse every week. And honestly,
That sounds awful.
they're all my favorite.
They're all my favorite. It's hard to pick one, but they're all my favorite.
They're all my favorite.
I'm one of those guys who likes the whole Bible.
Totally, yeah.
Every verse and every letter.
Every piece was written by the Lord himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of what I like about it,
Yeah.
because I didn't realize Jacob could read and write.
Yeah, I mean, it really, knowing that it's Jacob's
Yeah.
Bible, it's Jacob's favorite book that he wrote.
Jacob's favorite book that he wrote.
He wrote a lot of books.
He
He wrote a
wrote a
lot
lot
of
of
stuff,
them.
but nothing quite tops
He
the
likes
Bible.
the Christian one the most.
He likes the one that was a religion the most,
Yeah.
for sure. And I mean, can you blame him? It's the best.
L. Ron Hubbard feels the same way about his writings.
I mean, can you blame him?
Yes.
I suppose you can. I suppose you ought to. I suppose we as a society ought to.
Can we just take that man and take him in your kitchen, put him in a can, and put him in the very back of the L. Ron cupboard?
I suppose that we could.
Yeah, could we just do that together?
Together.
Can we just do one thing as a family together tonight? Everybody, please. Oh my God.
I mean,
Honestly, it's been so long since we just ate dinner in the same room, because L. Ron Hubbard is
Mhm.
always in our bathroom.
yeah.
And he's always talking about smells of the Eucharist. So I don't see why we can't do that.
I mean, listen. If you're from the East Coast, you know. Whenever everyone, all these Ottawa, Montreal types always give me looks when I tell them that this is a family thing that you do is you put you put the dangerous the dangerous cult of personality cult leader away.
away in the cupboard.
In Ontario and Quebec, they just let him. They just let him loose.
Let him speak about the smells of the Eucharist
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
No,
And
no.
honestly, that to me it seems very irresponsible.
Yeah, but
I mean, what do I know?
I mean, it's just a classic.
I'm just a hokey little rural country mouse.
Yeah, us country
All these
mouse.
urbanites know much better than me.
Yeah, these.
Oh.
You know, they do it a little differently in the big honking city. I tell you that much for
Honestly,
free.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
Because they honk their horns every fucking day. I hear it all day outside.
I don't remember. I think I heard one horn in my life before when I lived in New Brunswick.
Yeah. And it was they honked because they were horny that time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the horn.
The only time we honk.
The only time we honk out in New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia and Newfoundland sometimes is because you're horny.
Because you're horny, honk if you're horny.
There's not enough traffic for it to be dangerous.
Yeah. And it was Horny Adams.
Horny Adams, the horniest man of the block.
Horny Adams.
Sussex's own Horny Adams.
Sussex peanut home of ginger ale and butter.
And Horny Adams.
And Horny Adams. Our third export.
The exports really drop off out of Sussex.
That's just ridiculous.
No,
Okay, what happened on the island?
Honestly, I hope you enjoyed a little taste of our culture. But listen, we've got a television show to talk about sometimes, and guess what? Locke gives him the 3 times thing and says this counts as 1, and then goes to brutally murder a boar, and he slits the boar's throat in front of Charlie.
It's funny.
It's like I get it, survivalism and all that, but hey, maybe
okay,
a heads
Locke,
up.
you're a wild card.
Yeah, Locke is
Yeah.
definitely a real wild card in this episode for sure. So, the gang, Jack and Hurley are moving supplies into the cave, and Charlie's like, ooh, let me help. And picks up a suitcase, and then it all spills everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh,
Gag.
womp womp.
Womp womp.
And it's all medical supplies, and Charlie's just like, oh, I was just trying to help, guys. I don't mind me. I'm just
Sorry, everybody.
And
I'm
they're
just trying to help.
And they're just like, hey, don't worry about it. We got some more stuff to haul, so we'll go do that. And right away, Charlie starts sifting through the medicines to see if there's any painkillers or drugs. Drug time, baby. And guess what? Jack spots him and says, what the heck are you doing? Oh, I had a headache. And that's diazepam. That's 12 times Kleptoman. You can't have that.
That's too much for a headache, bud.
That's too much for a headache, bud.
Are you okay, Charlie? You look sort of nuts.
You should probably just friggin' take a rest. Don't worry about it. We got this. Take care of yourself. You look a little dehydrated. Go get some water. It's fine. It's all right. So the next scene is Jack is exploring a cave for some reason. He's they're in the caves, but it's pretty well lit. He's exploring a fully dark cave that is adjacent to this cave, I guess. And Charlie comes in and just starts. Oh no! Here's what it is. Here's what triggers it. Hurley brings over a guitar case, and Charlie starts being like, "Oh yeah, my guitar case. You know, I was in a little band. You might have heard of it called Drive Shaft." And Hurley's just like, "Man, this was just Jack said this was in the way. So can you just find a place for it?" That's the last straw for Charlie. He's been boar bait. He spilled the suitcase. His band got disrespected, and now it's time for him to go yell at Jack for some reason.
Yell at the doctor for trying to put the medical supplies somewhere.
I mean, that's it, right? that's his
Yo,
cry.
fuck you, man. You can't set up the little mini hospital here.
How dare
because my guitar was there.
How dare you ask me to move one of my only item?
Yeah.
How dare you?
God damn it, Jack-o'-lantern.
So he shouts at him. He shouts at how he's a rock god at Jack. And then guess what? Rumble, rumble, rumble. Oh no, rumble, 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 crumble, crumble.
The cave falls in.
The cave does fall in.
But for some reason, Charlie gets out and Jack does not.
Jack does not get out, but Charlie manages to. He's coughing, he's moving away smoke, and everybody's like, "Where's Jack? What happened to Jack?" And Charlie just motions to the pile of rubble. Everyone's stunned. Holy shit, is Jack dead? Is Jack alive? What could it be? The dramatic tension. Goodness gracious. Immediately, people are like, all right, we're going to form a line, start hauling rubble out. Charlie go to the beach, get help. Charlie goes to the beach.
He gets everyone pretty much.
He gets pretty much everyone,
Yeah.
including
Boone, Michael.
Sawyer. He
He tells Sawyer.
He tells Sawyer, and Sawyer says, I'll go tell Kate. She's off doing the B plot of the episode. Sawyer, by the way, is shirtless and hot in this scene.
Yeah, he looks great.
It's good to see.
Beautiful, yummy little man.
I looked up recent Josh Holloway interview just to be like, how's Josh Holloway doing? He's still looking great.
He's still a beautiful man, and I'm like, I would let you talk about the smell of the Eucharist in my bathroom.
Oh no, let that guy out.
Yeah, don't put him in the cupboard.
No, he does not. Put Josh Holloway in the hallway.
Put him in the hallway.
Yeah.
Josh Holloway.
Yeah, Josh's hallway.
Oh my God.
Of course.
That's crazy. It sort of is the same word, eh?
Yeah, it's like a very similar kind of word, and so there's a lot of comedy to be wrought from that.
You know how Christmas is coming up, everybody. People say happy holidays.
Yeah.
What about a happy Holidays?
Yes, honestly, now nothing warms my heart like a happy Holloway.
Yeah.
Happy Holloway to us all.
Happy Holloway to us all.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Aww.
Aw.
The Holloway season's coming up, and you know how it is. It's stressful. But you love it too. Sometimes.
But I love it. Yeah.
Stressful, but you love it. It's stressful, but you'll love it.
You know what I love.
You know what I love, and it's the Holloways. So, the gang has assembled a line. Michael kind of takes charge because everyone's kind of like wondering what to do. What do we even do? Michael, of all people, steps up and says, all right, this is a cave-in. We need to assess what's, load bearing and what isn't. We should start hauling rubble, but be careful. And everyone's kind of like, what? And Michael says, listen, I have 8 years of construction experience. I know what I'm doing. Didn't know that he had 8 years of construction experience.
No, this is new.
This is new, but I like to see it.
I appreciate it, yeah.
I do like to see Michael stepping up and being very useful.
Someone had to have construction experience for the sake of the episode.
Absolutely.
I'm glad it was Michael.
I'm thrilled that it was Michael. So everyone starts hauling in rubble and feeding each other. They start hauling out rubble, and they start singing about how their dreams are going to be made true. And
Oaten Halls, yeah.
How Private Eyes will be watching them.
Oh.
I could name more songs, but
Ivet Prize, I really like.
Ivet
Do you know that person?
Ivet Prize?
Yeah.
Ms. Prize?
Ms. Prize. She won the prize.
She won the prize.
Ivet did.
Ivet did win the prize, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't say.
So I just thought I'd bring that up.
Can I ask what prize she won?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you know what? That is forbidden knowledge. Only Ivet.
Yeah, it's. I would rather not share that. Not on the air.
No, okay,
No,
yeah,
not
that's
on the
fair.
air.
That's fair. Honestly,
No.
I respect that choice. So, Charlie, while all this is happening, wanders off. He goes out to find Locke, who is just skinning and hanging boars.
Skinning the boar.
Which, again, I get it, survival, but it really makes a fucking hell of a
so
visual.
weird.
It's literally like a full, boar corpse.
Skinless carcass.
Skinless carcass just hanging in the middle of the jungle.
Very interesting.
That Locke is just, dealing with. And Charlie comes through and says, hey, there's a cave-in. Jack is in trouble, what the heck's going on? And Locke says, well, is anybody helping? And of course, people are hauling rubble. But why aren't you helping, Charlie? I have a suspicion. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is not, you didn't come here to tell me about the cave-in. And Charlie says, you know what, you're right. I'm sad and give me drugs.
Give me my drugs, sir.
Sir, please, can I give you drugs?
Drugs, please.
Instead of giving him drugs, Locke goes over to a cocoon and says, check out this cocoon instead. It's the cocoon of a moth, and it's going to burst out of this cocoon and be big and strong. Now listen, if I poke open this hole, then it'll get out faster, but it won't be strong enough to survive, and it'll die very quickly. So guess what? The lesson of the story is struggle is nature's way of making you strong. So no to drugs. Time number 2. We're down to 2 out of 3, and have a good one.
And Charlie's like, okay, later, bud.
Locke, okay. Lot to unpack about Locke's rehab facility. Locke's like 3-step program.
It's incredible. He's good at it.
He is good at
He's
it.
a good rehabber.
He could get me to quit like anything. I feel like.
Totally.
I would never have a sip of the nectar of alcohol again if Locke was there to remind me, like, if you think about it, a beer can is a lot like the famous cheetah or something like that.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
The famous cheetah.
The famous one. Not your run-of-the-mill Joe Schmo cheetah. The biggest famous one.
Honestly, if you want to quit something, put it in your Elron cupboard and then put a lock on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the lock will stop you from consuming the thing that's bad for you.
But only 3 times.
Only 3 times. The third time, it will give it to you.
Yep. So that happens. Locke doesn't go back to help with the cave-in. He just keeps getting a more.
He keeps doing, which is fair, I think.
I think, yeah, the
He
grand scheme of
needs
things.
to feed.
Understandable. Yes. And enough people are helping with the cave-in that, like, I understand.
Yeah.
So they have found a way to get a hole in through Jack, and they've confirmed that Jack is alive but pinned.
Yeah.
But nobody can fit in this hole. If they pull anything more out, the thing will collapse again.
Uh-huh.
And so they're like, well, we need someone small enough to go through. And guess who volunteers?
Charlie.
Charlesy himself.
Charlie bit me.
Charlie got so inspired by that moth story, and that he decided, I'm a moth now. Let's go put me in a cocoon.
Time to go into my cocoon.
I'm going to a cocoon and
Like
fly
the
and grow
little moth.
wings. And he decides, well, listen, I will do it. And everyone's like, you sure, dude? You just almost caved in yourself. And he's like, it's fine. You all have family on this island. Don't, so I'll do it. And he does it. He crawls in and says hello to Jack, lifts the boulder off Jack, and Jack is like, you need to... One more thing, quickly. I know you just freed me from a pin, but quickly, real quick. My shoulder's dislocated. Please fix it. And so we get a classic, very violent and uncomfortable scene of Charlie wincing as he yanks on Jack's arm, and Jack
But it
screams, and a
works.
crack happens.
Uh-huh.
It works. Pretty good. It works. But there's another cave-in. And they're trapped again. And so they're just kind of chatting by the flashlight, and they're just like, Jack's kind of like, I'm a doctor. I can tell you're going through like heroin withdrawal. I'm happy to help you out with that if we ever get out of here. And Charlie's just kind of like, claustrophobic in here, like a confession booth, and it's weird. And then he sees a moth.
Oh.
And where does that moth go? Through a little tunnel. And Charlie goes to follow him through that tunnel, and then he digs and digs and digs, and guess what? They find a way out.
They get out.
And they walk back to the caves, and they're like, we're fine, it's good. And the lesson is learned.
The moth.
The moth
will always win.
The moth will always win all the time. The moth loves to win, and the moth is a victor. And to the victor,
The moth goes to the moth.
to the moth go the spoils, and to the spoils go a cocoon from which the moth will emerge.
From which the moth will emerge.
And 3 times the moth emerges,
Uh-huh.
and the spoils only are the moths.
The spoils are the moths,
Mhm.
but the moths make the soup that will become the spoils
Mhm.
after you reject the soup, after you say, I'm not eating moth soup.
Mhm.
And then it spoils because it's spoiled, it's
Mhm.
gone bad.
Mhm.
And then you have the spoils and you say, here, you won, sir, take this.
And then he says, okay.
Okay,
And then
thank you.
And then he sips it all in one gulp, and he just
Yeah.
says, yum, yum, yum.
Then a big projectile vomit.
Yeah.
It's like, but then you're like, oh, if only it were Shoe Nice who ate that. He would have been okay.
If only. If only.
Everything would have been okay.
Everything
But
would-
now I gotta clean up my couch.
Yeah, and so what it really all comes down to is the moth. It's very thematic.
The moth win. Yeah, the moth gets out. The moth is
The moth is the winner.
yeah, and through, what is tenacity?
Yeah. Tenacity.
Tenacity.
The moths are incredibly tenacious
Uh-huh.
creatures, like Charlie.
Like Charlie, Tenacious C.
Tenacious C, that's him. That's what they call him all throughout the episode instead of Charlie.
Tenacious C.
Tenacious
Hey,
C.
Tenacious C.
There's nobody who can fit through this hole. Tenacious C, you can't really be serious, can you?
Can you just get over your drug withdrawals for 1 minute, Tenacious C?
Now listen, Tenacious C, I'll give you your heroin back after 3 times, you ask
Yeah.
me.
It was weird. It was sort of weird, just scripting call, but I like it.
I liked it. I liked it. It was bold, and
Yeah,
it
it
was
was bold.
just like a classic like season 1 move where
It
it's
was
just
the
like
bold and the beautiful.
it was bold and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So one final scene of Charlie's, which is that everyone's kind of like recovering and everyone's being like, all right, get well, Charlie. You're all right. Glad you're all right. And Charlie kind of gets up, still sweaty, still gross looking, wearing his classic heroin hoodie all the way up, goes over to Locke and says, hey, give him to me. Time number 3. I'm doing it. I've made my decision. Give me the heroin. And he takes the heroin and he looks at it lustfully. And then he throws it into the fire. Ah, you thought he was going to do it, fools.
It was crazy. It was such a redirection of expectation.
You thought he was going to do the heroin immediately.
It was crazy. Yeah,
And
it was so good.
instead-
it was so good.
Instead, he did not. He
He
destroyed
didn't
it.
do the drugs. He threw them out. And it's like, Charlie, Tenacious C, you made this choice for you.
Mm-hmm. I genuinely like, this is definitely, I'm glad we're ending Charlie's stuff on this.
Yeah.
And we'll go more into it in the flashbacks and stuff.
Triumphant.
But like, it's definitely the best Charlie episode by far.
Yeah, it is.
Because it really does, like, because you and I constantly are ragging on Charlie for being like basically useless.
Dumb.
And
yeah.
this episode like really breaks that down.
Totally,
and
yeah.
completely like confronts that and makes him go like, all right, you have to actually deal with and confront
do
your
something. Yeah,
and
don't just steal a baby again.
Don't just steal a baby again. A, help out. B, really confront your addiction for real. And the stakes are fucking palpable in there and executed in a way that is classic just early season 1 shit where they were just like, oh, there's just something to this that they just are nailing somehow.
Totally. Yeah. It was good.
It was good. Let's wrap up the B plot and then move on to the flashbacks.
There's a signal.
There's a signal.
They got to figure it out.
Saeed's got a plan. See, there's this transmission that's been happening for however many years on this island that they found. And they're like, well, we don't know who's sending the signal, but I bet if I have these, if I hook these contraptions up, put one contraption here, one contraption here, one contraption here, and then light them all at the same time, I bet I can find the signal of the doohickey.
Okay.
And I'm like, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds good
Sounds
to
good
me.
to me. Basically, due to limited battery life being cobbled together with whatever they could find from the wreckage, these transmitters or transponders or whatever they are only last for roughly a minute. At which point Saeed is hoping to use his walkie-talkie to be able to triangulate the signal or something along those lines.
I don't really understand it, but also I'm not going to question it.
The gist of it is 3 survivors have been tasked with taking a transmitter to a different point in the island and then firing off a bottle rocket at the same time. And then when the last bottle rocket goes off, everybody turns on their thing, and then Saeed looks at his machine and finds where the signal's coming from. So Boone has been tasked with one. When Boone learns it's a cave-in, he passes it off to Shannon, and they're at the beach. Saeed takes care of another one. This leaves Kate with the third.
Kate.
So Kate's hiking off, and then eventually Sawyer catches up with Saeed and Kate, and with the intent of being like, hey, guess what?
Jack's dying.
Jack's dying and in a cave-in.
But Kate's mean to him.
Kate's instead mean to him. Kate's instead like, what do you think we want with you? We think what would we ever want to do with you or something like that?
I love you. I hate you. Oh, get out of my face, but I love you.
Get out of my friggin' face and ass, but I love you and can't stand the sight of you.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's fun and good. It's just like that classic, will they, won't they? Whoa.
And right now, it's won't they.
They won't. They sure
but
won't.
But later, will they? Who knows?
Who the frick knows?
Who frickin' knows? That's why you keep watching the show.
That's why you keep watching the show, to find out.
Find out, will they or won't they?
Whilst they or whomst they?
Whom.
Yeah.
So Kate's like, you get out of here. And Sawyer's like, I'm just going to tag along.
Yeah. Sawyer.
And they're like, okay, I guess.
So you can see Sawyer like making the decision to be like, not tell Kate about the cave-in.
Yeah.
And be like, well, all right, I just came to tell you. You were right. I'm a selfish asshole, and I figured I'd come along to prove to you that I can be a helpful person. And so does that by being a selfish asshole.
Yeah.
Like, great job, Sawyer. Sawyer's cranked in this episode.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Other than the time he's
This is back when he's bad.
This is back when he's purely bad and suck ass. and before we uncover that heart of gold that we know is there.
Yeah, I
got-
love that heart.
We got that 6-pack of gold for sure.
Yeah.
We got that 6-pack of Miller Lite, that's
Oh.
for sure.
Cute little man.
Cute little man. This is all about Josh Holloway now. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, you knew it.
It was always all about Josh.
It was
Holloway.
always all about Josh Holloway. You got me. So, Saeed and Kate and Sawyer get to the place. Saeed goes off to plant his. Sawyer and Kate are chatting, and they're like, "Whoa, you're flirting with the doctor, huh? Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Well, guess what? Too bad, 'cause the doctor died in a cave-in."
And Kate's like, "What?" And Sawyer's like, "Damn."
Did I forget? Did I not mention it? Like, fuck off, Sawyer.
Yeah, you weirdo.
Don't be a weirdo about the doctor dying, the doctor on the island dying.
Yeah.
And so Kate immediately leaves, leaving Sawyer to tend to the signal.
Yeah.
Kate also reaches the cave-in and is like overworking herself to free Jack. And
Yeah.
people are like, "Stop!" And Kate's just like,
I gotta.
"I gotta." Final scene. All the bottle rockets go off. It's fine. It's good. It happens. So Saeed looks at it and is like, "Yes, I'm getting a signal. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm getting a signal.
Then
Who is it?
gets-
Where could it be? What is it? Oh my goodness!" And conk. Saeed lands upon the ground because he's been bonked on the head by
He's
an
been
unknown
bonked on the
assailant.
Yeah.
Who could have done this horrible crime to Saeed?
It's Locke. We know it's Locke.
We know it's Locke. You and I both know it's Locke. That's the island stuff.
That's the island stuff, but don't stop there because
Hey.
we got more.
We got more! Can you believe it? The show keeps going. And we learn all about Charlie's past.
Charlie's past. And you know what? He was in a band.
He was in a band. Before that, he was in Confession. Giving the
Yeah.
horniest confession I've ever seen.
He is in confession. He's like, "Forgive me, Father. Last night I had relations with a lady, and then immediately after I had relations with another lady, and then watched them have relations together." And it's like, this is a weird confession.
This is a brag.
And then he's like, "It's not my fault. It's my band. We're too successful."
My band, my SoundCloud is really blowing up right now,
Yeah.
Father.
And then the priest is like, we all make choices and give in to temptation." And then Charlie's like, "Well, I know what choice I have to make. I have to quit the band."
I really like before I decide to quit the band, I better go brag to the preacher for a bit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, leaves the pew, does a little dab in the holy water, and then who else is there but his little brother or
His big brother.
His big brother.
Liam.
His big brother Liam is
The
there.
piece of shit.
Piece of shit says, "Hey, guess what? Good news. We got a recording contract. It's official. We're finally hitting the big time." And he's wearing a shirt that says the words "music slut" on it.
Ugh.
Just like a regular shirt that someone likes to wear. Just like a thing that you love to see on a body.
He's a music slut.
He's a bit of a slut for
Yeah.
music. Now that's a Tinder bio right there.
Oh. Yeah.
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 Jeez.
Yeah. Get that out of here. Put that in the cupboard.
Honestly, put that right in the cupboard. It's terrible. But Liam doesn't put it in the cupboard. Liam insists on saying, "Hey, listen, baby brother. It's the band is you're the face of Drive Shaft. It's got to be you and me and the rest of us also. We got to do it. It's time, baby." And Charlie says, "All right, listen. I'll do it. But if anything gets crazy, we walk away, no questions asked. If I say we are done, we're done." And Liam's like, "You got it.
You got it, bud.
You got it, buddy. We're done." Cut 2. It's concert time, and they're singing their hit song. And I think this is the first time we've fully seen this song, even though we've sung it a lot ourselves.
You all, everybody.
It goes like that.
You all, everybody.
It's a perfect song.
Acting like those stupid people wearing expensive clothes.
Fun song that is a radio hit that the mom, dad, brother, sister, and even grandpappy loves too
Yeah,
sometimes.
they all like it.
They all like it. It crosses it just to number 1 for 800 weeks running.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. Everybody lusts after it.
The Driver Shafts.
So they're performing it, but guess what? Charlie's supposed to sing lead on this song, and Liam has done it instead, and Charlie's upset about it. So backstage, Charlie decides, "Hey, what's the deal with that? That's supposed to be my song." And Liam says, "Oh, it's fine. Don't worry." And Liam is also being accosted by girls and fans, and everybody's being
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, whoa,
Hot women.
whoa, yeah, drive shaft, baby." And like clearly not paying any mind to Charlie. And so naturally, as you do immediately backstage at a backstage rock concert party, you invite a girl in, pull out some heroin, look at your younger brother as sad violin music starts to play, and say, "Chill, baby brother," and then close the door and do the heroin.
Do the heroin.
Yeah.
Very weird.
That's what it's like to be a. That's
rockstar life.
That's just rockstar life to
Yeah.
me, I think, right?
At least in Britain it is.
In Britain, it's a UK thing.
It's a UK thing, the old heroin baby brother.
The old doing heroin casually at the party.
Baby heroin
immediately.
brother.
It's kind of a baby heroin brother
Baby
situation.
brother and the heroin tree.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have heroin 1, 2, 3.
there are other songs.
1, 2, 3.
Great song that they love to sing. For some reason, never caught on quite as much as you all, everybody. I can't quite figure out
It was
why.
way more honest.
Yeah. Love that song. Love that tune.
It's funny.
So Charlie has come into the party room to confront Liam, and there's a bunch of girls around, and Liam's like, "Take your favorite girl, baby. We're rock stars." Liam is a real shithead throughout this whole
It's
episode.
gross.
And Charlie says, "Get out of here, everybody. Listen, you weren't at rehearsal. You weren't at sound check. You're doing heroin right now in front of me. We're done. It's too crazy. We're done. We're going to. I'm calling it. We're done." And Liam says, "You're going to walk away from this? From all of this? What are you going to go to after this? You're nothing without this band. I'm the band." All this stuff is very like note for note. What if a band had a trouble thing?
Yeah.
Very like all the just beats of it. But it's fine.
It's fine.
It's like.
It at least adds depth to Charlie that isn't there most of the time.
Exactly. Especially the like dressing down of Liam being like, "What are you without this band?" really informs a lot of Charlie.
Like his insecurity and
exactly.
it's just like
and
insane need to like discover what he's good for.
Exactly. And also, and the big connection with that is Liam storms off. Charlie's just like beside himself, like, "I guess I'm stuck in this crazy lifestyle forever." And then he sees the heroin, and he's like looking at it, sobbing. We don't see him do it, but the implication is this is where it started.
This is when he starts doing heroin.
Yeah, exactly. So all that's very intertwined into the hot mess that Charlie is.
Yeah.
Then
we get one more.
We get one more scene. This scene is scored entirely by acoustic guitars.
Yeah, it's weird. This is a weird scene.
It's a weird.
I don't know if they even needed this scene.
I don't necessarily think they did either, but I think there was a sense of like, what were these guys doing in Sydney, Australia? Sort of that had to be answered. I mean, didn't have to, but they thought it had to be answered, you know. So Charlie shows up at Liam's house in Sydney and says, "Hey, guess what? It's me, your baby brother. It's been a while, but how's it going? And guess what? We've got gigs, we got a tour. We're getting the band back together. This is our comeback, baby." And Liam is no longer living a rock star life.
He's just a dad.
He's just a dad. He has a kid, and Liam
he has a kid, and the kid is running around, and Charlie is like, "We're playing in L.A. tomorrow, baby." And Liam is like, "What? No, I'm not doing the band anymore."
Yeah, Liam is fully like, I quit heroin so long ago now. At this point, and guess what? I'm
happy.
I'm happy. I have a family. I cannot possibly go back that. Remember when I missed the birth of my daughter? I'm never going back to that lifestyle. And Charlie's like, "Come on, baby." Liam is like, "Oh, you're still using, aren't you? Listen, if you want to stay here, we're happy to like find you some help.
We'll get you help, yeah."
And Charlie's like, it's your fault I'm like this. Fuck you," and then leaves.
Yeah.
"I've got a plane to catch." And guess what that plane is?
Flight 816.
Flight 815.
Well, yes.
He got on the wrong plane.
815. Yeah, it was supposed to be 816.
Yeah. Well, that's the episode.
That is the episode. It was good.
It was a good episode. It's classic season 1 shit. Just like a good television.
Yeah.
It's good when the show is good.
Which is weird.
when the show is good, I like to watch it and I like to talk about it also. The thing about it is, I mean, I've already said most of what works about this episode, right? We've established that this is a good episode of television, and with that, we say goodbye to our dear addict friend Charlie.
Love you, Charlie.
One more thing I want to point out.
Yeah.
We mentioned Charlie's heroin hoodie.
Uh-huh.
It's up like most of the time that he's going through withdrawal and feeling sad, and like we joke about like, oh, it's the hoodie for doing heroin. He literally like throws the heroin in the fire.
And then he lifts the hood up.
He lifts the hood up and then looks up and sees a moth fly away.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
a heroin hoodie.
It's the heroin hoodie. That's what it's for.
It's just a heroin hoodie.
If you see someone with a hood up, that's their heroin hoodie, probably.
Well, would you like to hear any questions about the episode?
Well, I wonder how many questions there are, because I feel like this is a pretty like straightforward single episode.
There are 2 whole questions.
There are 2 whole questions, and I'd love to hear them.
When did Liam get clean?
When did Liam get clean? After he missed the birth of his baby daughter, as we know, of course.
It wasn't quite that, but very close. After dropping his baby daughter.
Yes, that's right.
After dropping his baby daughter in his drug-addicted lifestyle, his girlfriend was going to take her and leave him. So Liam sold Charlie's piano in order to pay for the expenses of rehab in Australia, leaving Charlie behind.
That wasn't a good episode, was it?
No, it was bad.
It was fun how Charlie kept stealing all the babies, but the flashbacks were very like this, but again.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Who knocked out Saeed?
Well, you and I both know that it's Mr. Locke, of course.
Yeah, it's Locke. It just says it was Locke, and he thought that he was acting in people's best interest, trying to stop Saeed from sending out a distress signal.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's classic Locke, doing cranked-ass shit to keep people trapped on a rock full of magic.
He's nuts.
He's a wacky guy, although he does a lot of good in this episode, too. He did, you know what? Stopped a rescue attempt. Cured a heroin addiction.
That's pretty
It
cool.
all kind of evens out.
Yeah, totally.
So listen, that's a great episode of the show.
That was a great episode.
Were you interested in watching another
Makes
episode?
me want to watch more.
Oh, well, listen, we've got more Lost, my friend.
I went on random.org. I looked up numbers between 1 and 60, and I got number 30 right in the middle.
Right in the smack dab middle.
Smack dab in the middle.
Well, let's take a look-see.
Middle dog.
Middle dog. Oh, no.
It's the middle dog log.
Middle
It's
dog
the middle dog log.
It's the middle dog log. My friend, it is season 3, episode 19, The Brig, and it's a Locke episode.
Oh, that sounds fun. I like Locke.
It's a Locke episode. We were just talking about how much that guy is cool.
Middle dog Locke.
Middle dog log.
All right, well, I can't wait to watch it.
Well, listen, we're going to watch it next week, and I'm excited. And guess what? That's the damn show. So here's the old end of the episode spiel. You can follow me on Twitter at Barrio Trio. You can follow James at James Brown, and also you can see all the shenanigans he's up to at jamesbrown.space. We also recommend following James's other podcast called Lovable Favorites.
Lovable Favorites.
It's a fun little podcast where he writes fan fiction with his friends, and it's good. You can follow the show on Twitter at Island Shuffle or on Facebook.com/The Island Shuffle. If you like what you hear, give us a rating or review on iTunes. I hear that's a good thing to do.
It's good for us.
It's good for us.
It'll get us good.
It makes us healthy. Finally, we are hosted on the Noisepace.xyz network by Matt, who is a kind and I was going to say kind elderly gentleman. He's 2 days younger than me.
He's elderly.
He's elderly. He's a brittle old man.
Yeah.
And with his
78 years old.
And his dying wish was he wanted to make a podcast network for all of his online friends.
He's an old man internet mogul.
Mm-hmm. And with this, he has given us free hosting and also many other podcasts, such as My Pod Cabbages, City Girls Make Do, Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, Giants Confirmed, and others still. Loads of great podcasts on that network that you love to listen to and have on your listening devices. And with that, I say to you, the listener, to you, James Brown, and to you, the microphone in front of me, a farewell of good nights. And thank you for listening. We've been the Island Shuffle. And like we say at the end of every one of these wacky little episodes, yeah.